Hey, what's going on? Good morning, Set Apart Gardens family. Dre over here at Set Apart Gardens, man. So I woke up this morning, man, and it's about what? About 9:50 a.m. So just coming outside, man, and it's a beautiful day in the springtime. I was just thinking, man, like, imagine, you know, you don't gotta punch no clock. You know what I mean? And you ain't in the, hustle and bustle of the city. I mean, you just on land. You got a farm. You got animals. You got vegetables growing. You got, of course, dogs barking and, chickens and all type of stuff, man. And you just living the life that I feel like the Most High created you to live. Especially how He created me to live. You know what I mean? Like, the freedom aspect, as well as just being on the land, being in nature. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just being able to walk outside and just step on the grass with your bare feet. You know what I mean? And just being able to come outside, sit on your porch, on your rocking chair, and just relax. I was just thinking, man, like, this is how the Most High designed us to live, as far as not having to live to just pay bills. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man, like, especially coming from the background that I come from, with working my entire adult life for somebody else. It's just a breath of fresh air to be able to wake up and do what I want to do, and do what needs to be done, of course, but at the same time, you're doing it for the betterment of your family. Like, we weren't just born to pay bills and die, man. Like, this country that we live in, it has taught us that, hey, you need to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and X, Y, and Z, and just pay taxes, pay bills, and die, and try to make as much money as you can on a job, and take a 2-week vacation every year, and just the typical, the typical kind of rhetoric that we grew up thinking. And so that's how you think, life is supposed to be lived. But honestly, man, life is supposed to be lived where you wake up and you have the freedom to do what you want to do. And within that, of course, you're still going to provide for your family. You're still going to take care of yourself. But at the same time, it's how you're providing for your family. It's how you're taking care of yourself. Are you, just jumping out the bed, going on a journey of the broke just to be just over broke? I got that from a great farmer, and a great, in my eyes, a great revolutionary who really kind of sparked my mind to want to get back to the land, Mr. Renard Turner. If you haven't watched his video, man, just look up Renard Turner Black Farmers, and he has a few videos, man. But that's what he talks about, as far as jumping out of bed on the journey of the broke to be just over broke. You know what I mean? And that's how most people live. But when you are able to escape that, cycle of living, jump out of that rat race, get from out of a lot of these, big cities where it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with if you want to live in a big city or nothing like that. You got a lot of amenities. But I'm just speaking specifically for me. Getting out of these big cities, getting away from a lot of people, you know what I mean, who are your neighbors, but they're really not your neighbors, because you don't really know each other. You just all happen to live in the same community, but nobody's helping anyone. Versus you living on your own plot of land, and your neighbors are your animals in your garden, and your fruit trees, and your family who lives with you, and everybody is working together for a common goal. The animals are providing you food, you know what I mean, or they're providing you protection. The food is the vegetables are providing you food, the fruit trees are providing you food, and in return you're providing them nourishment, and you're providing them water and different things like that, and everything is working together for the benefit of all. You know what I mean? Everything is like an ecosystem, if you will. You feel what I'm saying? Like everything, like, you know, whatever you eat, the scraps that's left over, you can return those back to the soil. Now the soil is being fed, and when the soil is rich, it provides food to the plants that's going to in turn grow more food, and then that food can be used to also nourish other animals that will provide you food. You know what I mean? So it's just like a cycle, man. Everything works together. But I was just reflecting on that, man. Like, man, I'm able to just wake up, you know, before my kids get up, come outside before I get the day started. You know, if I want to drink a cup of coffee, or if I want to smoke a cigar, or, you know, if I just want to sit out here and listen to the birds chirp, or hear my dogs bark, and look at my puppies over there that I got, you know what I mean? Or go check on my chicken, see if I got some eggs in the chicken coop, or just walk the land and just get a vision, you know, for, okay, this is going to be my next project. I have time to actually think about it. I have time to actually, you know, just visualize, or meditate, or just talk to the Most High, or just walk the land, or, you know, just go and check the garden and water the garden. Just whatever. It's whatever I want to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and this is new to me. This is new to me. That's why I just felt like it was so beautiful, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. Like, this is life. This is how life is supposed to be lived. You know what I mean? Like, it's a Wednesday. You know, I don't got to answer to nobody. You know what I mean? I don't got no meetings that I got to attend. And I hated meetings, man. Like, that's one of the things, that's one of my biggest pet peeves that I hate, especially when I was working, is sitting in meetings. You know what I mean? I hate meetings because it's like, just tell me what I need to do and I get it done. But that's neither here nor there. But it's just the freedom, man. Like, when you're not on, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, be honest with you, man, like, when you are working for a corporation, you are on to a certain degree, especially if you want to continue to make that paycheck. You know what I mean? Because your whole livelihood depends on it. And especially being in the military, because I got a military background, you know, being in the Army, the government literally owns you. The government literally owns your body. You know what I mean? So, like, it's certain things you can't do, you know, if you are, you know, or in the military, a soldier, whatever. But just having that freedom of not being owned by anybody, and just owning my own self and owning my time. It comes with a large responsibility, but at the same time, it comes with, you know, a large sense of gratitude as well. That, man, you know, because like tomorrow's gonna be Thursday. I'm gonna just be able, you know, going down to Jacksonville, I'm gonna be able to go fishing, you know, and just fish all day. You know, I'm gonna record that as well, but just be able to fish all day, you know, and bring back some fish to put in my freezer, you know, but also having a good time with family and stuff like that. But, you know, it's just the freedom, man, to be able to live life and not go through life and react to life. You know what I mean? But to be able to live life. This is how life is supposed to be lived. When the Most High created man and woman, he put them in the Garden of Eden to be stewards over the garden, to oversee the garden. He created man, you know, to be the primary overseer and the primary master over the garden, while woman was supposed to be his helpmate. And that was how life was supposed to be lived. But of course, you know, man and woman's disobedience, you know, caused us to be kicked out of the garden. But even still, you know, we were called to be stewards over the earth as well. You know what I mean? And so what that means is we weren't supposed to be colonized and controlled and manipulated by systems and governments and all these type of things. You know, that's not how we were created. We were created to eat a healthy diet, to get enough exercise, as far as, you know, being out in nature, being out in the sun, being out in the elements, and, you know, eating from the ground, because man comes from the dust, you know. So we're supposed to, you know, eat, you know, organic things and things that we grow ourselves. And, you know what I mean? Like, over the past few decades, or if you want to say centuries, but I'd rather say decades, because it's more of a new age problem. But we've been so used to going to a supermarket to get our food, and that disconnects us from our food. You know what I mean? It disconnects us from our food source. So we just compartmentalize nourishing ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, if you could just go to a grocery store and just grab something off the shelf, then it's not really clicking in your mind that, hey, this comes from the earth. But what type of earth did it come from? Who grew it? How did they nourish it? what did they spray on it? Just all type of questions that may come to your mind. You know what I mean? And we've been so disconnected from that. You know what I mean? And so we were never meant to live like that. It was always eat what you kill, grow what you eat. You know what I mean? Or barter and trade. Excuse me, y'all. Man, my phone always be doing that. But or barter and trade. Buy it from somebody who has grown it, and where it's grown to. But I can see a lot of people getting back to that way of living. But I'm just coming to y'all and just sharing my thoughts and my experience for the day. Like, it's just beautiful, man, just to see the nature, see the plants growing, see the animals, and just listen to nature, and just be able to sit out on my porch, sit on the rocking chair, and just not have to answer to anybody, man. It just brought to my remembrance, this is how life is supposed to be lived. Like I said, life is supposed to be lived. It's supposed to be enjoyed. Not you're supposed to just go through it and just hope for the best and react to whatever comes your way. But with that, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. I just wanted to bring that quick word to you, and hopefully motivate somebody to break free from the rat race or whatever situation you're in, and just start living life how it's supposed to be lived, and getting back to the land, getting black people back to the land, man. Like I always like to say, if you get somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to start your peace.